Okay, so I'm at a garden right now, and there's this hanging because this is, I think, down there is grapes. Over here, I think this is kiwi. But anyways, I am out at this garden that I know very well, and it just came back to me how I've kind of lost my way a little bit and haven't been coming to the garden. And I mean that in a spiritual sense. That time where you're just trusting in the Lord and resting in Him is like going to the garden. And I realized that I haven't been really trusting Him, because if I was trusting Him, I would have peace. I wouldn't be stressed out. But I've been very stressed out. So if you find yourself, at your wit's end, really stressed and feel like you're going insane, remember to go to the garden. And sometimes going to a physical garden helps, brings clarity. I last minute decided to join my parents for church this morning, and they had just left, so I was leaving right behind them. And for some reasons, I ended up putting in, because the church was called Lighthouse, and ended up going to another Lighthouse church that was right next to this other church. And I saw some guys that I knew. Well, I didn't know them, but they were coming from this place where this garden's at, Men of Valor. And I'm like, is church starting for y'all? And he's like, yep. And so I'm like, wow, I'm here just on time. So I ended up being exactly where God wanted me. And so all this stress and all this stuff and all these closed doors that I've been dealing with for months on end, it's like, if you just move, God will keep, showing you the right way, even if He's not telling you exactly what's happening, right? And then He brings to remembrance the things that He already told you, and you're like, dang, I just need to trust you, So, yeah, God can be opening up doors that men are saying are shut, right, in your life. You just have to take a leap of faith, and He will guide you right to where He's wanting you, right? Because He's not gonna just, play with you. Or God doesn't do that. He doesn't do tricks. He doesn't lie. He doesn't, He doesn't do that. He makes us wait, but it's a trusting thing, just like the Israelites in the wilderness, right? They end up in the wilderness a lot longer than they were supposed to, but it was a trust thing. It's like, are you going to trust me? So put aside what people say, what people think about you. Just trust the Lord, and don't worry about it. And in the waiting, the time it takes, waiting for the Lord, for His doors, to walk in. Don't grow weary in your well-doing, right? Just find rest in His presence, and rest in the garden. Put your hands to work and whatever it is, and just take a deep breath, right? And sometimes He'll put us through things where He's actually taking things out of us, and I've definitely felt that this week, where it's like He's frustrating everything to where, like, all I can do is cry. Right? That's all you can do. And sometimes there's healing in just that. And I didn't realize that I had a lot of grief in me, just built up over the last few years. Just so much grief, and it just all came out unexpectedly, all in one day. It was just, I woke up, I had this amazing dream that was like, I was like amazing, but then when I woke up, it was just like I got hit by a truck. There's so much grief, like terrible grief, and I couldn't distract myself. Yeah, God dealt with that, so where I couldn't distract, like I just had to sit in it. And sometimes we avoid the very thing that we need to actually just sit in and release. Grief actually holds up in you, and you have to actually release that, because it's going to stay in you, right? There has to be relief from those things, and it comes by getting it out. So if there's something that you've been through, you've never cried about it, you've never let it out, you've never talked about it or anything like that, you've got to release it. So yeah, and I ended up getting a haircut, and it was just, I thought I was going insane. I was getting so frustrated, and I was like, oh man, and I was like, my hair was really frustrating me because it's so long. I'm like, dang, how did I go, like, I think I've gone like 2 years without cutting my hair, it feels like. I feel like, did I just go 2 years without even getting a haircut? I was like, dang. And so then I'm like, just spur of the moment, I went and tried to get a cheap haircut, and I was not happy with it. They cut all of my hair off. And I even took a picture of all my hair on the ground. I was like, dang, did I just do that? But I told the lady, I'm like, look, those are all those years gone, bye-bye, like all those years are gone. And I felt like, oh wow. And then the next day I'm like letting go of all this grief, just like my hair, right, from the years, right? And it's like, when I was reading my Bible this morning, it literally said, cut off your hair. And mourn and cry, right? I was like, oh dang, that's insane, you can't make that up. But yeah, just letting it go, right? Just cutting it off. And it's with the heart, right? Sometimes we think, oh, if I cut this off and that off and this off and that off, but it's actually the things in your heart, because the very thing that you want, or the very thing that you know, of whatever you're envisioning, like it happens, but then it's like, wow, that actually wasn't like it. It's still hurting in my heart, just like the Israelites. It's like they left Egypt, but Egypt was still in their hearts, right? And so just cutting off the things of the past in your heart, right? And grieving what's been lost, but then but it has to go in order for you to receive the new and be able to receive everything that God is wanting you to walk into, so you can enjoy the garden that he puts you in, right? The newness. Okay, I gotta go.